A very warm good afternoon to one and all present for the national webinar. I invoke our gracious God's presence for our program to be a great success. In celebration of the International Year of Millets, the department has organized a program each month this year which includes online and offline activities. And this national webinar is the fourth event in a row to propagate the worth of millets as nutri cereals. I now request the head of the Department of Home Science, Dr. C. Kalavani Ashok, to welcome the gathering to this auspicious event.
A very good afternoon to everyone. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this event of the month, a national webinar on Genesis and Action Plan for the observance of International Year of Millets. In the month of January, we conducted a walkathon with over 300 students campaigning for the promotion of millets. In February, we had an e-poster competition on the theme Mighty Millets in Holistic Health, where 61 students from various colleges in the state participated. In March, an intercollegiate recipe competition using millets called Millet Munch drew over 52 participants from various colleges in the Chennai city. Today, we seek to rope in a wider audience into the I Am Milletian campaign through this national webinar. At the outset, I welcome our Madam Principal, Dr. Uma Maheshwari, who is a source of strength and inspiration to each one in Queen Mary's College to work for the cause of education and development relentlessly. We are extremely honored, ma'am, to have you with us today, despite your personal commitments and travel schedule. I extend a very warm and cordial welcome to our honorable guest speaker, Dr. Suresh Kumar Malhotra, Director, ICAR, New Delhi. We are extremely proud and honored to have you with us today, the very voice of India that proposed this celebration of International Year of Millets 2023. We thank you, sir, for your time and expertise and assure you that we join you in our own small way in promoting the consumption of millets in India. We welcome you, sir. I welcome members of the Nutrition Society of India, Chennai chapter, who have responded to my invitation and have joined in. Thank you for your support. A very warm and hearty welcome to fellow faculty of Queen Mary's College, fellow faculty of the Department of Home Science who have joined in. A very special welcome to the students of the Department of Home Science. I hope that today's session will leave you with many meaningful take-home messages that will benefit you, your family, community, and the nation at large. I welcome all the participants from near and far who have joined us today and endorse their support in the inclusion of millets in our daily diet. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It's my privilege and honor to request our Madam Principal, our guiding light, to deliver the presidential address.
Respected Chief Guest, Dr. Suresh Kumar Malhotra, Director, ICAR, New Delhi. My dear Dr. Kalaivani Ashok, Head of the Department of Home Science, faculty members, guest lecturers, my dear students. I feel greatly honored and privileged to address the gathering in the online platform today in connection with the International Year of Millet 2023. And I am very happy to be the part of this webinar. And this webinar is one of the event in the series of events conducted by postgraduate Department of Home Science in our esteemed institution to commemorate the International Year of Millets 2023. Every event, every month we used to hear the health benefits and the why millets are very important. Apart from the health benefits, I would like to um, highlight some points and which I noted when I happened to see the bulletin of the proposal made by our guest speaker today in the global conference held at Rome. I am very happy to be with such a great person who represented India and who made a proposal to make this year as International Year of Millet. Thank you very much, sir, for accepting our invitation and for accepting to share your expertise today. And we feel greatly honored, and I would like to extend a very warm welcome to you on behalf of Queen Mary's College, sir. Thank you so much. Millets were a major crop consumed in India and numerous other nations about 5 decades ago. But according to a 2014 National Council of Applied Economic Research report, the plate share of millet has declined significantly in favor of wheat, rice, and other processed foods. As a result of increased land being used for wheat and rice production, cultivation area for millets has decreased by 58%. With India's growing malnutrition problem, both undernutrition, vitamin, mineral, and protein deficiencies, overnutrition, obesity, metabolic syndrome, and lifestyle diseases, there is a growing awareness of the need to move to a healthier, more accessible, and inexpensive diet that include millets. In addition to being naturally gluten-free and nutrient-dense millets, they are also rich source of protein, essential fatty acids, dietary fiber, and the vitamin B. They not only that, they also aid in the prevention of numerous non-communicable lifestyle diseases such as diabetics, hypertension, and cardiovascular disease. They are considered to be a potential choice or even solution to lessen the negative effects of rising malnutrition and to improve food and nutrition security of any nation for that purpose. And due to their adaptability, coming to the production point of the millets, due to their adaptability to a wide range of temperatures and moisture regimes, as well as the low input requirements, millets are resistant to climate change. They are resilient crops which can withstand heavy droughts and even can survive on 350 to 400 millimeter of rain, making them ideal for crop production. Like this, the sudden global fame of the coarse grain can be traced back to March 2021, when the United Nations General Assembly at its 75th session declared 2023 as the International Year of Millets. Dr. Jacqueline Cooks, Director General of International Crops Research Institute for the Semi-Arid Tropics, says, as the world becomes increasingly aware of the negative impacts of the climate change, millets are gaining attention as only potential and important one of future crops. On the recommendations of FAO, Food and Agricultural Organization, FAO Council, and FAO Conference, the UN General Assembly adopted by consensus a resolution sponsored by India and supported by 70 nations. declaring 2023 as International Year of Millets. The proposal at United Nations on behalf of India was made by our guest speaker today, who represented the international conference. And when I was going through the bulletin shared by Dr. Kalevani Ashok, I came to know that the way he supported our proposal and the way he answered so many queries by the delegates from other nations was truly amazing, sir. Thank you very much for making a wonderful proposal in the your nation and our contribution to India to represent India on the global conference. And no doubt you are instrumental for making that resolution to be passed as International Year of Millet. And we feel greatly honored to have you here with us on this online webinar. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation. And at this juncture, I congratulate Dr. Kalaimani Ashok and their team for taking such wonderful steps to celebrate the International Year of Millets by conducting series of events on every month. I wish the department many more success, and I wish all the students, no doubt this webinar will be of um, great would be of great help in sharing the knowledge regarding the importance of millets to our students. Thank you all very much, and I wish success of this national webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your blessings. You have been always inspiring us to do the best for our students. I now request Dr. C. Kalevani Ashok to introduce our distinguished guest speaker to the audience.
Thank you so much. Thank you, madam, for your words of appreciation for the department. And before I introduce the guest, I wish to welcome Dr. Narasimhan, Senior Scientist, who is the CEO of Astagiri Research Foundation, who has joined in. And I also welcome Dr. Sharifa Talha, who has joined in. She was the former president of NSI Chennai chapter. Thank you so much for joining in. I deem it an honor and privilege to introduce to you our speaker of the day, Dr. S.K. Malhotra, whose achievements are monumental. And what I read to you today is just a glimpse or a bird's eye view of his phenomenal accomplishments. Dr. S.K. Malhotra, a renowned scientist and administrator who has served at top leadership positions in agriculture as Agriculture Commissioner, Horticulture Commissioner, ADG Horticulture in Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare and ICAR. Presently, he is the Director in Directorate of Knowledge Management in Agriculture, ICAR, New Delhi. He is the architect of many new mission programs such as National Pulses Submission, National Mission for Edible Oils, National Millet Mission, Per Drop More Crop Program of PMKSY, National Saffron Mission, and National Bee and Honey Mission. As a researcher, he has contributed to the development of 15 varieties of crops for cultivation in arid ecosystem. He has served as chairman of Insecticide Board Registration Committee, Central Fertilizer Committee, Central Biostimulant Committee, and his contributions are immense in the formulation of policy framework and guidelines for registration and commercialization of novel products in our country. He has represented the Government of India in more than 24 international events organized by international agencies. The most recent being the FAO Council, where he introduced the proposal for the International Year of Millets, which was approved for the year 2023 by the United Nations Organization. He has, to his credit, over 324 publications, and his contributions have earned him various prestigious awards. We are very honored and happy to have you with us, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for the introduction. We now arrive at the much awaited presentation of our honorable guest speaker, Dr. Suresh Malhotra, Director of Knowledge Management in Agriculture, ICR New Delhi, on Genesis and Action Plan for Observance of International Year of Millets. Sir, you can start.
Namaskar, good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, sir.
Well, I'm really very happy to be here with you all. I could see, the chairman of today's this program, the principal madam, Dr. Uma Maheshwari ji. I have heard his remarks, the introductory remarks which she has given, and then the introductory remarks related to me given by Dr. Chandrasekhar Kalavani ji. And then I could see many of the senior faculty members, they are also available with us. And I will not forget to mention Dr. Narsimhan, because he was in touch with us, and as a chairperson of the Central Fertilizer Committee, I still remember we invited him for making some guidelines for neem oil and other things. If you remember, I'm right? Well, so we had an association with Dr. Narsimhan. So he's a great scientist, I remember. Well,
thank you very much, sir.
Well, thank you so much. Yes, I'm happy to see you here.
Sure, sir.
So thank you so much for good introductory remarks. So now I would like to upload my presentation.
Yes, ma'am.
Please share your screen.
Yeah, I'm just sharing the screen.
Okay, thank you,
If
sir.
that point is not visible. Okay, let me see.
You have to click on that arrow present now, sir.
Yeah, I've clicked on that one only.
Uh,
Just a minute.
you have to click on share screen.
Yeah, I have done it, but I don't know why it's not showing. Oh, let me check again. Entire screen. it's not taking.
Screen is visible, sir. Ayyo. You should not press on ignore, sir. I mean, you should press on ignore. You should not press on stop sharing.
Okay.
Present now, then share screen, and then ignore. Yes, sir. Now the screen is visible. You have to press on ignore.
Okay. Yeah, I have pressed that ignore.
Yeah. Yes. Yes,
Is
sir.
it?
Your screen is visible.
Is it? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Is the presentation visible?
Yes, sir. Your presentation is visible.
Okay. Okay. Well, so good afternoon, everybody. As Madam Chandrasekhar has already given the title of the presentation. She has mentioned Genesis and Action Plan for Observance of International Year of Millets 2023. So yes, it's a great event. Now India is taking the lead in observance of this International Year for Millets. Before we discuss International Year for Millets, whether you have noticed the change in slide, it's working?
Yes, sir. It's working.
Well,
The slide has changed.
Before we discuss International Year for Millets, I would like to mention about the agriculture in India, which has made a great stride. And if you look into the figures, you will find that our production level has increased, and 6.5 times food grains production has increased. And here, similarly, in case of horticulture, 13.7 times production increase has been noticed. And even we have crossed 50 billion US dollar export from India that has taken place. How this has happened? This has happened only because of these knowledge powered solutions which has made the impact. And today we have reached to this level, and we are a self-sufficient country in the world, and even we are now exporting to many other countries the food grains as well as horticulture produce whatsoever we produce. So this has happened because of strong institutional system available in the country. We have 113 research institutions, and then we have 74 All India Coordinated Research Improvement Projects under the Indian Council of Agriculture Research. Then there are about 73 agricultural universities, including this Central Agriculture University, and there are a few more universities. They have their Department of Agriculture. Then 731 Krishi Vigyan Kendras, and then we have Agriculture Scientist Recruitment Board, National Academy. So this is a kind of institutional setup which is available in the country. It's a very strong system, and we are unique in the world to have such a largest system of institutions for conducting research, which is a location specific, situation specific, and it meets the regional requirements also. So we call it National Agriculture Research Education System. So this system, the research conducted by this system has made introduction of agriculture in the more potential areas, and input use efficiency has increased, and input use has happened in the potential areas, and potential crops have been taken in the potential areas. Package of practices have been adopted. It has helped in enhancing the income of the farmer, and commercialization of agriculture has taken place. Because we used to speak about 3 points. One is food security, second is nutritional security, health security, and environmental security. So Indian agriculture has made several achievements, passing through the different revolutions, either it's a green revolution, white revolution, blue revolution, yellow revolution, golden, silver, brown, and gray revolutions. These are the different revolutions. And now we are experiencing a second green revolution in agriculture. And today we have reached to the level of 323 million ton food grain production, as well as pulses also. We have broken the record from the last 4 years continuously. Every year we are breaking the record, and we are reaching to the record level of the productions for food grains, pulses, oil seeds. Though there is a shortage of oil seeds, but now we are on increasing side. Our production level has again increased to the 37.7 million ton. This is a kind of increase which has happened only because of our strong research system, strong extension system which is available with us. And now India is also taking lead for International Year for Millets for food, nutrition, health, and environmental security. These are the 4 points which I would like to link with the International Year for Millets. So before I mention about the details about the millets, we should know that there are different kind of millets. We are very much aware about sorghum, pearl millet, finger millet, but there are several other group of millet crops which are called as minor millets. It's a foxtail millet, kodo millet, little millet, proso millet, barnyard, brown top, teff millet, and fonio millet. These all are the different kind of millets. These all millets, they form a collective group of the annual grasses, and these are grown as a grain crops, and primarily on the marginal lands in the different ecosystems, either it's a temperate, tropical, subtropical. These are the different systems. These crops are not new to us, and even there are records that these are the ancient food grains and were domesticated for food purpose. And there are evidence in the Indus civilization dates back to 3000 to 2005 year BC, Harappan Valley, as well as in the Indus Valley, they have their mention. And these are the crops which are grown in 131 countries. And millets are the traditional food of 59 crore of people in Asia and Africa. So just let's have a look in the level of millets production at the world level. We should say 89.26 million ton of the millets are produced every year, and Indian contribution is 17 million ton out of this 18 million ton. So we have a large share, and in Asia 80% of the production of millets comes from India side, and 20% of the world production we contribute as a whole totally when we calculate into it. So, but through this slide, I want to mention that before Green Revolution, what was the picture, and after Green Revolution, what has happened? Because after Green Revolution, these millet crops, they were ignored, and before Green Revolution, they were the very important part of our food, and because of great emphasis given to paddy, wheat, maize, these crops, they were kept subsided, and then India introduced a kind of procurement system for paddy and wheat. So farmers, they stopped cultivation. The area under millet crops, it reduced. So the figure says that 50%, 56% of the reduction in the area took place. And this area went to some other crops. It shifted to pulses, it shifted to wheat, it shifted to cotton, it shifted to maize. So different crops, they took the grasp the area of millet crops. So this way millets were greatly affected and our production area decreased, and initially production also decreased, but later on with the introduction of high yielding varieties, we regained the area, and area, not area I should say, production we regained. So area led growth was earlier, but later on production led growth that took place. Sorghum area reduced to 4.93 lakh hectare area, it reduced to one. And then pearl millet also 7.06 lakh hectare area it went to. So there was a reduction in 33%. For sorghum, 70% area reduced. For finger millet, 53% reduction was there. And similarly for small millets, 90% reduction took place. And sorghum, pearl millet, finger millet and small millet, they all were replaced by the different set of crops. And we lost the area in different states. So here genetic enhancement later on took place. So our production level, which was earlier 11 million ton of the millets were produced, but now we are producing 15 to 17 million ton. So our production level has increased despite of reduction in area. So it clearly shows that productivity led growth has taken place, and with the introduction of hybrids in sorghum, pearl millet, the production has increased. So here now yield level has gone to 5 ton per hectare, 4 ton per hectare for sorghum and pearl millet respectively, and similarly for finger millet, little millet and kodo millet also, area also increased. But we need to fill up the yield gaps. So yield gaps are still existing and those gaps are required to be bridged. But how we can bridge those gaps? So you can clearly see from this slide that our national average and demonstration which we laid out at farmers field and the potential yield, there's a lot of difference if we compare with them. So these yield gaps are required to be reduced. That's why we have introduced a new plan, and we declared the year 2018 as National Year for Millets to promote millets for the nutritional security, and we notified the millet crops as a nutri cereals. We gave the new name nutri cereals, and I was agriculture commissioner at that time, and we started from our home, from India itself, and then we declared National Year for Millets. And then I submitted a plan to Government of India that we need to implement this plan in the whole country, and because these are the crops which belongs to us, we are the center of origin for these millet crops, and we started a type of, we should say, branding, nutri cereal. We gave the new name, and then we launched a new program, Submission on Millets, in the year 2018. And we were having National Food Security Mission program, and then we started a submission on millets under the National Food Security Mission program, and I was the chief executive for implementation of this National Food Security Mission program in 28 states and 9 union territories. An awareness program we started, breeder seed production program was also started, Center of Excellence for Millets were also started. I'm really happy to know that today a large group from Home Science College as well as Home Science Department, they are available with us and they are listening this presentation. So 3 Center of Excellences which we established at Haryana Agriculture University, Hisar, and then we also started at University of Agriculture Sciences, Bangalore, and one more program was started at Center of Excellence at Hyderabad, Indian Institute of Millet Research, where new products were started and new innovations were introduced, and we wanted that new products should come into practice and those should be made available to the people for fulfilling the nutritional requirement. And then accordingly we started a Nutri-Hub program at Indian Institute of Millet Research, where new value-added products are now being made, and several startups, they are also now being promoted, and 80 farmer producer organizations were also supported in the 11 states, so that farmers, they get a kind of empowerment for production and as well as for their marketing through the food producing organizations. And then we started another program, one district, one focused product, and several millet crops states were also identified. 19 districts were identified to encourage this micro food processing enterprise at district level for millet crops. So Department of Women and Child Welfare, they also started the Poshan Mission, and millets have been included in that one. So here several states, they took the initiative under the submission for millet program. Odisha, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Telangana. These are the states. They started in the year 2018 when I introduced this program, and I was additional secretary and agriculture commissioner at that time when this program was started. And the program which I submitted to the government of India was accepted as such, and many states, they took initiative, and many of the states, they organized this organic farming and millet promotion program. And then further, they also organized several other Kisan Melas, and climate resilient agriculture project was also started, because these are the crops which are called as the crops of adversities. So adverse situation, they can even tolerate. That's why we call them climate resilient crops. So the impact was visible, the production increased, productivity increased, and 96 high yielding varieties of these nutri-cereal crops were introduced, and our export of millets also increased from $21.98 million to $29.73 million in 2 years' time. And then what we did, that we made a proposal, and we submitted this proposal to the FAO Rome. And how the journey started, how the genesis of International Year of Millet started, I would like to briefly just mention about this. In the year 2018, October, an invitation came to Government of India that India should participate in this Committee on Agriculture program. It is one of the very important governing body of FAO, where India was invited because India is the member of FAO, United Nations. And then I was nominated to attend this program, and I went through all the program, and then I saw that there is no agenda from India side. Then I prepared an agenda that International Year for Millets agenda should be included. And then they asked that that should come from your minister. Then I prepared a letter, and I sent to the DG FAO, and we were lucky enough that our request was accepted, and they included in the supplementary agenda, because agenda was already finalized, and they included it later. And then I was asked to submit a background note. I prepared the background note on millets, and I submitted that background note to FAO, and that FAO accepted that note. And then later on, they asked me to make a presentation, and they allotted me 7 minutes time. And then I made a presentation, and then the presentation which I made would like to share as such with you all. During my presentation, I highlighted that millets are our traditional crops. They are the ancient grains of arid and semi-arid ecosystem. And these are the plants which were first domesticated by the man. And then they became the traditional staple food for millions of the farmers in sub-Saharan Africa and Asia. And according to the International Crop Research Institute, semi-arid tropics which has its international center at Hyderabad, they have mentioned in one of the reports that 90 million people in Africa and Asia, they depend on millets. And 500 million people in more than 30 countries, they depend on sorghum as a staple food. And millets, including sorghum, are grown in 131 countries. So this I highlighted there. And then I mentioned that why International Year of Millet should be celebrated. And I highlighted that millets are highly climate resilient crops. And climate change is affecting the crop yield and quality of the many crops. So these are the crops which are well acclimatized, and they have their kind of adaptability to the adverse climatic conditions, and it could be grown under the drought conditions, and they are early maturing in nature, so they complete their life cycle within the moisture availability period. And these are the crops which are most suited to the marginal lands and to the changing environmental conditions. Then in the second slide, in the next slide, I mentioned that millets have high nutritional value, because these are the crops which are known for high nutritional value. Either it's iron, zinc, folate, calcium, and apart from these micronutrients, they are also rich in health benefits they provide, because they are low in the glycemic index. And again, they contain protein, dietary fiber, antioxidants, and they are gluten-free also. So they are very important for food security, nutritional security, and then for the environmental security, as I mentioned in the previous slide, that these are the crops which are called as climate resilient crops. Then I mentioned that millets are good for the planet. They take less and give more. And the millets are the crops which provide a viable option for the marginal farmers and sustainable production system, because our farmers, 86% of the farmers, they are small and marginal in nature. So these are the crops which are best for the small and marginal farmers, where they have less affordability to use the inputs. So these are the crops which take less inputs and give us more. So minimal fertilizers and pesticides are needed if we have to grow these crops. And we can grow these crops in the areas where we have limited available water conditions, and multiple uses are there: food, feed, fodder, biofuel, brewing purpose also it is used. Sorghum is the crop where sweet sorghum, it is used as a beer making, brewing purpose it is also used, and it is eaten in the many farms. Then in another slide, I highlighted that here I want to attract attention of the global community towards benefits of the millets for achieving the sustainable development goals, because FAO has set the sustainable development goals which are required to be achieved by 2030. So out of the 17 sustainable development goals, I linked them with 4 development goals. First, that relates to ending the hunger, achieving food and nutritional security, and promoting the sustainable agriculture. And then second, and the sustainable development goal number 3, that was linked with the ensuring healthy lives. Because of the health benefits, I linked with healthy lives. And the next point was ensuring sustainable consumption and production patterns, because now climate change is happening. We need to accordingly change our cropping pattern so that production should come from the different areas which are vulnerable to the high temperature conditions, to the drought conditions, because near 50% of the area is rain fed in nature, in India particularly. So here production should come from that area. We need to combat climate change and its impact. So these are the crops which are having their strength to do that. So then I presented 3 objectives. That first objective is to elevate awareness of the contribution of the nutri-cereals for food security and nutrition. Second, to inspire all stakeholders, including national governments, to work towards improving production, productivity, and quality of the millets. And finally, I presented the last that objective, that draft for enhanced investment in research and development and extension services to achieve objective number 1 and 2, because awareness part is very important. We need to make aware the people about the benefits of these crops for food security, for nutritional security, for health benefits, as well as for environmental security. So here, after reaching back to my country, then immediately I submitted a proposal to Government of India that we need to have a core group, and that core group will guide us that how we further need to forward, because our proposal was accepted by the FAO at the very first level, and then it went to the second level it went to the FAO Council, and third level it went to the FAO conference, and then finally it went to the United Nations, where the proposal was finally accepted, and an international year was declared, and India was given a leadership that India will guide whole world for observance of the international year for millets. So 7 task forces were made by the core group, and I was also the member of core group, and I am still continuing as a member of the core group, where the decision was taken that we need to enhance the production productivity, nutrition and health benefits are required to be enhanced, value addition, processing and recipe development should also receive emphasis, entrepreneurship, startup, collective development. This is also one of the very important point, awareness creation, international outreach enhancement, and then policy interventions for mainstreaming of millets is very important. So 7 task forces were made, and I was the chairman of the first task force, how we can enhance the production and productivity, because I am professionally trained breeder. So we submitted a plan to the Government of India that how we can increase the production, how we can further enhance the productivity. And similarly for nutrition and health, Ministry of Health was given the leadership. They were the chairperson of this task force. Similarly, all these task forces submitted their reports to Government of India, and these all recommendations of the task forces are important part of our action plan. And accordingly, in the month of January 2023, the international, not January, but it was March 25th, when 25th December 2022, launching was done for the International Year for Millets, and from 1st January 2023, the Millets year started, and we started observing in a big way, and we started celebrating in a big way. 18 ministries and departments were identified, and indicative action points were made at that time, and those indicative action points were further circulated, and we all 18 ministries sat together, and we came out with a kind of strategy, that what should be the strategy, what could be the action plan for each ministry. So Department of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Department of Agriculture, Research and Education, Ministry of External Affairs. So these all were involved into it, food processing, commerce, where the decision was taken how to, what should be the strategy for production and productivity enhancement and crop improvement. And here R&D activities are required to be pursued. And we also proposed that there should be a global hub and global center for millets. And accordingly, Honorable Prime Minister declared Global Millet Institute, Indian Institute of Millet Research has been now upgraded to the Global Research Institute. So Ministry of External Affairs, because they are having different missionaries, embassies are there, they further do a kind of advocacy for the Indian millets, and we took help of all embassies in the different countries through these external affairs ministries. Now all embassies, they are celebrating this millet year in the particular country in a big way, and our Indian millets are now being showcased, and people are now more aware in the world wise that yes, Indian millets are great and they are having high quality. And processing industry, Ministry of Food Processing is also promoting it. Ministry of Commerce has also taken several programs. Very recently, in the month of March only, on 18th of March, a big program was organized, and Ministry of Commerce, APIDA, they organized a big show here in Delhi, where more than 60 countries they participated, and a program was also organized where all agriculture ministers from the different countries they participated in the millet program. Food and public distribution, they were also given the different assignment that yes, through the public distribution system this should be promoted. Women and child and development, they made a different program where millets have been included. Similarly for health and family welfare, these all are the different programs. We want to enhance our quality standards were not available for millets. Those standards have been developed by the FSSAI under the Ministry of Commerce. And then rural development and tourism also we took help, because several hotels and all hotels they have been guided that they should promote different meals from the millets, and Indian brand should be promoted. Tribal Affair Ministry, because there are several areas where tribal people they are also growing them, and tribal ministry they are also promoting it. So here Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Higher Education, School Education, Donier, NIC, these all are the ministries which have been included. And civil aviation has done in a big way. One coffee book has been brought out, and in all flights we can see the puplets, and these meals and snacks are also being served in many of the flights. So 10 points we made that yes, we need to do the branding. So millets from India are required to be promoted, and Honorable Prime Minister has given a new name now. When we gave a name of Nutri-Cereal, Director General FAO, they promoted, they even appreciated India that yes, India has already done a kind of branding for Nutri-Cereals. Now another new name has come, Shri Anna. Honorable PM has given a new name, Shri Anna. Shri Anna is an Indian brand now. So we are now making a kind of positioning of global millets through this brand. So international standard, this International Center, this Indian Institute of Millet Research at Hyderabad, they have been declared as a global hub, and networking is taking place. Mainstreaming of millets through the child development programs and public distribution system program is now happening, and it has been decided that food plate, at least it should include one meal made up of millets. So we are now also supporting South-South cooperation. Through South-South cooperation, many African countries are now being supported by India for promotion of the millets, for R&D purpose, for awareness program, for demonstration purpose. India is supporting them. And these awareness programs, outreach programs are done in a big way now. And export also we want to promote. As you know, as I have mentioned in earlier slide, 29 lakh metric ton of millet products, because after making of such a big products, now those products are getting a kind of boost, and here task forces recommendations have been accepted, and accordingly the programs have been chalked out, and it was realized that we need to have biofortified varieties, because biofortification could be done in three ways. One is genetical character. If we develop the varieties which itself will contain zinc or iron or calcium, such micronutrients richness should be there in the varieties. So it's a kind of genetical character which have been developed, and such varieties have been now are in practice, and farmers they have adopted. Honorable PM also released 6 varieties of these millet crops, which are called as now biofortified varieties. There is a acute shortage of the seed, but now 18 breeder seed production centers have been established, 24 seed hubs have been now started, So there is no shortage of the seed, because now demand is coming from the different states. In the different states now, farmers, they are asking that we are interested for growing millet crops, but seed should be made available. So this seed program has been now started. So 325 startups have been started by our Indian Institute of Millet Research, 14 FPOs, and then total 50 FPOs so far have been established. And in the second phase, 36 FPOs more were also established in Bihar, Maharashtra, and UP. So 170 value-added products, 260 new millet products by startup have been undertaken, because demand is to be created. If farmers are to be motivated that they should produce, they should start cultivation of these millet crops, then we need to create a demand. Otherwise, there will be a kind of discouragement to the farmers. So these are the efforts which are now being made, and linkages with the industries are also happening. So millet carnivals were also just last year. Millet carnival was organized at Delhi Haat, and another big program was also organized in the month of January at Bangalore. That was a big program on millet crops, and millet exhibitions are now being organized. And now G20 countries meeting is also being held, and on 18th, 17th, 18th and 19th of this month, on April, one program is now being organized at Varanasi, where a big millet exhibition will be laid out, and hampers will be put there, and many stalls will be laid out from the different countries, and about more than 60 countries, they are expected to participate in that program. So now International Year for Millets is being celebrated in a big way. Recently, if you might have seen, on 26th January 2023, in the 74th Republic Day Parade, you might have seen one tableau on millets. This tableau, I was the chairman of this committee, and this tableau was displayed, and this was the plan of my committee only, that what should be the shape of this tableau. So you can see in the front side the tractor, which is embedded with the seeds of the millets. So it's a powerhouse of nutrients. So it's an indicative that it's a powerhouse of nutrients, and live plants of nutrients have been shown, and a millet song was also played there on the 26th January parade at New Delhi at Kartavya Path. So now major challenges before us relates to the R&D solutions, because there are several challenges which are now being faced: water crisis, soil degradation, genetic erosion of the genetic germplasm, input use efficiency reduction, and biotic and abiotic pressures are also increasing, inefficient energy management, this has been asked, then improvement, management, protection, pests and diseases are also occurring, harvest and post-harvest losses, climate change, and then retaining people in agriculture. These all are the challenges which are now being faced. So last year we celebrated Atmanirbhar Bharat year, and where 75 years were celebrated as I should say Amrit Kal. So now Amrit Mahotsav, it was Amrit Mahotsav, now Amrit Kal is coming 2047. So by the year 2047, we shall attain 100 years of independence, and we have put 4 targets, 4 goals to achieve by 2047. Food security and nutrition. India should become a food secure nation, where nutritional security should be well addressed, and prosperity and livelihood of rural population should happen, and India should emerge as a global powerhouse in the food system, and sustainable natural resource ecosystem should be there, so that our ecology is also safe, environmental degradation should not happen, and sustainable agriculture production should happen, and we should be in a position to feed our population. Increasing population, we need to feed it, and by 2047 we want to achieve all these 4 goals, where these millets are also fitting well into this crop, because several other crops have also been identified. We need to combat the malnutrition. So different varieties have been bred. As I mentioned, biofortified varieties have been bred, and Nutri-Smart Villages program has been introduced in the country through this Poshan Abhiyan program. So diversification in agriculture is also taking place. So climate resilient program, climate resilient varieties, water and nutrient management, efficient soil management, conservation agriculture, that is taking place. So our climate resilient agriculture should take place, because climate change, it's a great challenge before us. So we are not exception. India is not exception. Just like other countries, we are also facing climate change, because drought is happening sometimes. Even sometimes flood also occurs, cloud burst, hailstorm. These all are the part of climate change. So we need to address this issue. This is a very important issue. So nature positive agriculture also now receiving emphasis, where we need to use the power of the microbes. So nature positive agriculture should receive emphasis. Now people are asking that we need to have safe food. So we are self-sufficient in production of the food, but safe food should be there. And here this microbial power are required to be used, either it is for biofertilizer or for biocontrol agents or for biostimulants, even I would like to include into it, and then reducing the water footprint. That's again, because we grow, there are many crops which are water guzzling. Paddy is a water guzzling crop. Sugarcane is a water guzzling crop. Wheat is again a water guzzling crop. These all are the crops which need more water. So there are several areas where now dark zones are appearing. So we need to have our strategy. We need to reduce the water footprint. With the less water consumption, we need to produce more. So now under the Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, this per drop more crop program is now being promoted, where drip irrigation system is now being promoted. And I was chairman of that committee when I submitted the complete plan, that per drop more crop, what should be the phase, how we need to implement it. A complete program was submitted and Government of India accepted it, and today 14 million hectare area has been covered under the drip irrigation system, where we are saving the irrigation water to 30 to 40%, and even we are saving electricity energy 25 to 30%, and even fertilizers are also saved, because there is a high nutrient use efficiency through fertigation if we apply the nutrients. And similarly, we need to strengthen mechanization in agriculture, so that we can increase the efficiency in agriculture, where processing industry, food testing laboratories, these all are the part of it. Several implements and protocols have been developed for the machineries. So machineries are required to be promoted. Similarly, for millets also, we need to have a wide range of machinery that's required to be used. Similarly, for green gas emission, because from agriculture, there is a great emission of the greenhouse gas. Those greenhouse gases are required to be reduced. But we have succeeded in reduction of the greenhouse gases to 20%. But further, a plan has been made by 2047. Our greenhouse gas emission should only be 5%. So we want to minimize it. So this is an international problem which is happening. So India needs to plan it. So accordingly, that plan is now made, and it is being implemented in all states. So here now attention is needed for sustainable development of agriculture in general, and millets in particular. So here many startups are required to be proliferate, and agri-tech, fintech, and research and development should take place. Smart farm infrastructure build up, that should also receive the support. Sustainable and efficient utilization of resources, that should receive part, because there is a reduction in the natural resources, either it's land or water. So those are required to preserve, and sustainable agriculture should take place. Smart advisory system should be there, so that we can give a kind of forecast to the farmers for preparedness, advanced preparedness. If there are some adverse situations, then farmers should accordingly prepare themselves. So input should be made available, smart manufacturing practices, and then technology based on the risk mitigation. Accordingly, advisories are required to be passed on to the farmers so that they can safeguard their crop. And e-commerce, they should become an important part, because everybody is having now mobile with him, and now through several apps they can get the information about the market, about their production level, demand, everything, such informations they can get. So let us join hands to observe the International Year for Millets 2023 in a big way, for large scale awareness about the benefits of millets and promoting Indian brand Shri Anna. I convey my thanks to the organizers to share my views. So I'll be very happy if any questions are raised, and I would try to reply to your queries.
Thank you, sir, for your enlightening and inspiring our students by giving your valuable insights. The floor is now open for queries. For queries and clarification, please introduce yourself before you ask your questions.
Yeah, I'm Dr. Narasimhan here. I have met Dr. Suresh Malhotra at Delhi, and I had a good interaction with him some years back on pheromones and many other things. Now it's an excellent lecture, Dr. Malhotra, and I think you have inspired the students here and also other people who have attended I would personally would like to go for the micro entrepreneurship. So what is the way in which we can have such entrepreneurs gain monetarily and then go about? What is the way we can do that one? Micro entrepreneurship.
Well. Excellent. Yes, I have also mentioned in my presentation that now we need to promote our own brand. First thing is branding is required to be done, and then accordingly novel products are required to be developed, and those products are required to be promoted with a kind of health branding. That yes, particular novel product, either it is a bajra biscuit or it's a sorghum biscuit or it's a nachni atta. Nachni means ragi, because in Maharashtra they call it nachni. So, or it's a ragi mude. So there are several products which could be made. So health branding is required to be done, and micro entrepreneurship, startups, they need to come forward, and Government of India is promoting such micro entrepreneurship through the different programs, and even financial support is provided, and custom hiring centers are also now being made, because there are several startups, they may not have much money investment in the initial phase, so they need to take support of that custom hiring centers for machinery, for processing purpose. Those custom hiring centers, they can help them at a very nominal price. They will prepare the products for them. They will just give a kind of recipe to them that yes, kindly prepare this for them. They will do. So another point is related to this micro and these small scale industries. MSME is also supporting all these micro entrepreneurship in agriculture. There are several new products. So these FPOs, where FPOs, because in all FPOs, farmer interest groups, they are the members. Farmers are the members. There are very advanced farmers. They have indigenous technical knowledges which are available with them. They have come out with their novel products, and they are promoting to this micro entrepreneurship. So this is now being utilized. So farmer producer organizations, they are also now providing a kind of platform to these startups, where these small players, they can do their big jobs. And the important point which I mentioned, that now Indian brand Shri Anna, now it is getting a kind of acceptability world over. So we need to explore those markets. Ministry of EPIDA, they are supporting such micro entrepreneurship for exportable production if they want to do. And novel products, they should get the kind of enhancement in the market. So I mean acceptability in the market, and they are providing a kind of support to this one. I think this is the reply which I can just give to your question.
Thank you, sir. And I think it is quite elaborate. And I think I will have to interact with the QMC department for developing such products and also go for this micro entrepreneurship programs.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. Yeah.
Well. So one more suggestion: such micro entrepreneurs, if they want to have some more information, they should contact our NutriHub program. NutriHub program at Indian Institute of Millet Research. Now it is a global institute where we have a NutriHub. Novel products are now being displayed, and even recipes will be provided to these micro entrepreneurs if they want to come up. And they
That's
will get
great.
complete guidance. Yeah, please.
Right. Yeah, that's very interesting.
Thank you, sir. I think we also have an opportunity here. Our students are developing a lot of millet products this year, particularly seed-enriched millet biscuits and pearl millet instant dosa mix, chapati mix. They're doing a lot of research on this also.
Okay.
So I think they will have a bright future if they join hands with you.
You can use our lab for developing products.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Yeah. As I mentioned that we need to promote, because health point of view, health branding is very important, because this is the point where they can highlight the specialty characters of the products.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very nice. Thank you, sir.
Any other question
Sir,
from student side?
yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Myself, Ramya Bai from FSMG second year. So, thank you for successfully launching this International Year for Millets 2023. So, I have a question, sir. So, what will be our approach after this 2023, sir?
Approach after 23.
Yes, sir.
Oh, excellent question. So one thing, I'll just give you an example. Are you aware about quinoa?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Quinoa year was celebrated in the year 2013. It was International Year for Quinoa. Before that, nobody was knowing quinoa. Now everybody knows quinoa. So now International Year for 2023 is now being celebrated as International Year for Millets. So a great awareness is there, and now people are aware about these millet crops. These millet crops are our own crops. These are our ancient crops, and they were very important part of our food. So once the year 2023 ends, United Nations will declare one day, International Millet Day. So every year that Millet Day will be celebrated. And now the activities which we have undertaken, and India has taken a kind of leadership for promotion of these millets and for the taking forward our own crops in the different areas, different pockets of the world. So it will get a kind of awareness worldwide. A demand will increase. Farmers will also start cultivation. Already cultivation is happening, but there will be increase in the area. There will be increase in the production, and people will find out that yes, these are the alternative crops which are possessing more and more nutrients, and through food we can even overcome many problems if we change our food habits. And we need to include these millets as a crop of as an important crop for health benefits, because it's our own mandate that we need to reduce burden on wheat, rice, which are high water consumption crops. So these are the crops which need lesser water. So just I think you got the answer. Every year there will be one day now, and I think in the month of January 2024, United Nations will declare one day.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Because show must go on. We should not forget the millets after 2023.
Yes, sir.
Well, any other question?
Sir, yes, sir. Good evening, sir. I'm
Good evening.
Sneha from First Time Mystery Foods and Nutrition, sir. So we know Seed Chain was initiated to promote millet production. So could you please explain that? Is there any national or global movement to develop seedling of traditional millets in overall India and also overall world, sir?
Okay, excellent. So, seed is the basic input in agriculture. Okay, you agree with me? So, here 96 high yielding varieties of millets have been developed. Those high yielding varieties with specialty characters are required to be promoted, and farmers, they should grow it. How farmer will grow? Because he needs good quality seed. So there is a seed quality system in the country, that first nucleus seed is prepared, then breeder seed is prepared, foundation seed is prepared, then certified seed is prepared. So quality seed production enhancement will take place. As I have mentioned, 17 breeder seed production centers have been identified, and then about 60 certified seed production centers have been identified under the National Food Security Mission program. So these all centers, they are producing the seed, and even these are the centers for meeting the national requirement. Now you have asked for the international requirement. So now many countries, they are asking for us for the seed, and we have signed MOUs with some African countries and many other countries also, where we have agreed that we will start the program, start the seed production program with them. But here we have certain conditions, because the varieties, those should be suitable for particular region. Suppose our varieties which are developed in India may or may not suit to other countries. So they need to first evaluate it. They need to first ascertain that yes, these are the varieties suitable for our country. Then they should start their seed production program. So seed production program is already in practice. So I think this will help us in increasing the area, production, and productivity.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any other question? We can't hear you.
Your voice is not hearing,
Yeah.
Kavipriya.
You are not audible to us. Miss Haripriya, you are not audible to us.
Turn your mic on.
Ma, who's asking the question next? Just on your mic, on your video, and ask. Introduce yourselves.
We can't hear you, Kavipriya. Next person, is there anybody else?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Go on.
Very good evening, sir. Myself, Dev Krishna, sir. So we are currently doing MSc projects, sir, on millet product development and also creating awareness on millet, sir. So could you suggest any student projects on millet, sir? We'll be really grateful if you could suggest any student projects related to millet and millet-based products, and also make us a part of this millet project.
Okay. So there is a wide range of products. What you can do, you can do a kind of innovation, and where you can come out with some combination of the different products. Either it's a millet flour, or it's a millet pops, millet puffs, and then millet biscuits. So then combination products could be made. You can just you can add few other highly biofortified products into it. I'll just give you an example. Even in presentation, in my presentation also, I mentioned that biofortification is done through genetics, breeding of the variety. Second, through addition of micronutrients into the soil, and micronutrients will be absorbed by the plant and it will be further synced into the seed. And third one is, if we add some other part into it, suppose beetroot juice into the millets, if we add some carrot juice into it or some citrus juice into it, so we can enhance the biofortification and novel products could be developed this way. And novel for financial support, as you have mentioned. So for students, I think your teachers can better guide. Otherwise, UGC has their program, DBT, DST, Department of Science and Technologies. They also promote for development of the new programs. Even National Medicinal Plant Board, they also provide support to the students if they want to do some kind of research and they want to come out with some new products. So there are different organizations where such kind of support is provided financially. Through some project-based budgeting also could be done. And even there is one Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana in every state. You can also submit your project to the Rashtriya Krishi Vikas Yojana for preparation of the novel products in your state. Okay, any other?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Myself, Elena Rasi from 2nd MSc Food and Nutrition. So I have a question to you, sir. Like many unbranded millet products which are available in market, but most of the products are not tested. So is there any control measures taken to assess, or is there any organic certificate which are available for millet products?
Yes, there are 2 points. One is organic production system. Organic production system itself is a different production system where certification is very important. Why certification? Because certification will prove that our product has undergone all production practices which are organically accepted, right from field preparation till harvesting. And even fields are also certified that yes, these are the certified fields for organic production. So then organic logo is provided at the end that this has come through a organic production. There is one PGS system, Participatory Guarantee Scheme for Organic Certification. This is now being followed by the farmers for organic certification. So organic certification system should be adopted. So if you have to make organic products, finally the raw material should also come through a organic system. So this way you need to follow a complete chain. So you need to verify through that certification that it's really organic, and then you should go for this one. So this is one part. I think organic PGS system is our own indigenous system, but whenever we have to export, then NPOP system is adopted. NPOP when we have to export it. So these are the 2 different certification systems for organics.
Thank you, sir.
Well,
Good evening, sir. Myself, P. Kavyarani, 3rd BSc Clinical Nutrition. Sir, thank you for your wide explanation on millet development. I have a question, sir. Can you clarify on anti-nutritional factors of millets? Because we know that millets are rich in nutrients, but it does have some anti-nutrients like phytate, tannins, inositol, and polyphenols, which has an adverse effect on micronutrients like iron, calcium, magnesium, and zinc. So it reduces its bioavailability and bioaccessibility. So can you please explain it, sir?
yeah, sure. So this is again a myth that these all anti-nutrient factors will adversely affect. Many of our foods, they contain phytates and many other anti-nutrient factors are there. But when we cook them, when we boil them, when we soak them, these all anti-neutrality factor that will go away. So here we need to see that because even through ITKs, indigenous technical knowledges, we are aware about this. Our ancestors, they were aware about this, that how we can make away this anti-nutritional factor from this one. And even some combination products, as I have mentioned. Suppose if you feel that if there is any kind of threat of phytates or some kind of anti-nutrient factor, then some other bioproducts could be added into it, and we can make some combination products which will help us in doing that. So if we cook them, if we boil them, if we soak them, I think this anti-nutrient factor that could be very easily resolved from the millets, at least as per my knowledge.
Thank you, sir.
Well, any other question?
Namaste and Vanakkam, sir. I'm R. Haripriya. I'm R. Haripriya of second year BSc and FSMD.
Okay.
So my question is, we face a lot of problems while storing millets like pest attacks and rancidity. So what is the proper way to store them and how can we tackle these challenges?
Yeah. Well, this really a problem in some cases because we need to safely store them. So storage purpose, we need to first, there is one protocol, one SOP has been prepared. Before we have to store them, those SOPs are required to be followed. First point, when it is harvested, good processing practices should be followed. Second point, before storage, initial level of moisture should be fixed to around 9%, 8 to 9%. It should not be more than that. If initial moisture level is more, then during the storage period, the quality may deteriorate or some kind of aflatoxins may develop. Second point, we need to have clean practices, storage practices. First is fixing the moisture level, then having a good packaging material, and then good storage facilities, where all good storage facilities should be used, because there should not be any remnants of our previous storage. Previous insects should not be there. There should be a clean environment that is required to be followed. And here, if we can keep the desirable temperature where the activity of microbial activity as well as insect activity will not be visible. But if you are going to store them at a very low volume, then even little treatment only it is applicable for high value crops. Otherwise, it will not be economical for the large volume. So for smaller volumes, if we give a kind of smearing with the oils, then we can protect our crop. But it's not economical part, I should say. Only waste oil and all other things should be used. But I am not going to make a recommendation about that one. But we need to find out other ITKs. SOP is required to be followed, I am telling you. And those SOPs are available on the website.
Thank you, sir.
Standard operating procedures.
Good evening, sir. I am Rupa. Sir, can we have a millet hub in Tamil Nadu which can be utilized by nutrition students for research purposes and creating awareness?
Yes, Tamil Nadu Agricultural University is already having a hub. They are having one big program at Coimbatore, Tamil Nadu Agricultural University. And I think you need to talk to them, because already there is one center for finger millet, for sorghum, and then for little millet. They are already doing it, and they have been even included in the seed hub program, and they have been given one center of excellence for making the new products. Tamil Nadu Agricultural University, I forgot the name of that scientist, but you should contact Department of Plant Breeding and Genetics, where there is a separate millets department. They can help you.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, I have another question.
Yes.
Ramya. So, how to get biofortified millets, and is there any facilities available to develop some products out of this biofortified millets, or government is giving any initiative to develop this biofortified millets products, sir?
Yes. Here, government supports for startups. Medium and small scale industries, MSME, they also support for smaller industries if they want to start anybody. So there are provisions. Government of India has interest subvention schemes also. Interest free loans are also provided for the first few years. But you need to have a perfect plan available with you, some business plan available with you, which you want to further take away, or you want to further promote it. So I think you need to contact, and every state has different programs, which are central government makes the program, and those central government programs are run by the states. So you are from the states from where you hail from, you need to contact the department, and they will provide you all the guidelines related to this micro entrepreneurship, I should say, MSME and all other things.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
So good evening, sir. Myself Keetna from MSc Food and Nutrition, sir. Millet-based foods are more needed for the poor people, sir, but it is quite expensive. How can we tackle the cost of the millet products, sir?
Yeah, you have used the word poor people. Mostly we do not use this word, because you should see that there are many tribal populations who are still using in a big way these millet crops, and they are very important part of their food. Pearl millet in Haryana, Rajasthan, tribal people, they are using it. And even in Bundelkhand area, there are several farmers. In Madhya Pradesh also they are using it. Ragi is also being used in some areas. In Uttarakhand area, Himachal Pradesh area, there are tribal populations, they are using it. So here, now this has become a superfood, because it has been highlighted and awareness has come. So we need to take advantage of that superfood. But you are saying that it is not affordable to them because it's costly now. So here raw material could be procured, and those raw material could be further taken in a way as they were earlier doing it. Either it's they were making the porridges or kheer or laddus or mude, what you call mudes, or so the different products are there. So those could be used, those could be prepared, and those could be used by them. Nobody is going to stop them. It is available, but only one point is there. Earlier farmers, they were not getting the good price. Now government has started fixing a rate. Minimum support price, they have fixed it. So minimum support price, normally it is sold below the normal MSP, but this is the first time that now it is being sold at the higher than the MSP. So when it's again a demand and supply factor.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. We are winding up this query sessions. Thank you, sir, for your patience and taking time to explain it for the students. The feedback link has been posted. Please fill it and receive your e-certificate, and the link will be activated till 6 o'clock. I now invite Dr. S. Vijay Priya, Assistant Professor, Department of Home Science, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening to all of you. It gives me immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks to this august gathering here. On behalf of our department, we extend our heartfelt thanks to our beloved Principal Madam for the support and encouragement. My very special thanks to our principal madam for addressing the gathering. I take immense pleasure in extending my sincere thanks to the guest of honor, Dr. Suresh Malhotra, Director, ICAR, for gracing the occasion as chief guest of today's function and sharing his valuable time with us. We are all inspired by your great efforts, sir. Thank you very much for elaborate and excellent presentation on millets. My very special thanks to our head of the department, Dr. Talevani Ashok, for the guidance rendered to us at every step from planning to execution of this webinar. I extend my sincere thanks to all our staff members and guest lecturers. I am extremely thankful to Dr. Sasikala for being instrumental in connecting us to our distinguished resource person. I extend my wholehearted thanks to Mrs. Bhuvaneshwari, Mrs. Esther, and Mrs. Rubini for providing technical support for this webinar. I thank NSI and Millet for collaborating with us in this event. I also thank all the distinguished invitees present here accepting our invitation. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the participants who have joined here. Thank you so much for your excellent participation. Once again, a big thanks to each and every one of you who made this event very special and memorable for all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. I thank all the participants for attending the webinar and making it a grand success. Hope we will catch you all in other such occasion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Stop பண்ணிடுவா. I wanted to ask one question. ரொம்ப tired I want to ask him one thing. So the millets, okay, promoting that, but can there be any regulation on polishing of millets? Because when you're polishing the millets, the goodness of it goes in. So now when they're starting to promote millets.
Thank you, Kalai. Can we leave, Kalai?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes, Nisha. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nice session, yeah. Very useful.
Thanks to all the students who participated. Thanks to all the staff who joined in.
Thank you, Kalai.
Thank you. You may all leave. Thank you.
Thank you, Kalai.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.